This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in the last session, what we did, we created primary accounting calendar and currency part. We don't need to do anything. All currencies are seeded, and we don't need to enable also. In case of EBS, we have to enable. In Fusion, not required. That's what we discussed. And we created chart of accounts within the accounting flex field. The real actual name is accounting key flex field. For display, Oracle is giving as accounting flex field. Within the accounting flex field, we created chart of accounts. As a part of chart of account, first we created value sets, then we created chart of account structure name, nothing but structure, and within that we created segments. To each segment we associated value sets, and for segments we assigned segment labels. Which labels we assign to which segments? Primarily for company segment, primary balancing segment label. For department segment, cost center label. And account segment, natural account segment label. Those labels we assign the same labels, segment labels, what we are calling here in EBS, we call them as a flex field qualifiers. EBS flex field qualifiers, in Fusion we are calling as segment labels. And we created chart of account structure instance. It's nothing but copy of chart of accounts. In Fusion, without chart of account structure instance creation, we cannot use the definition. In EBS case, we create chart of account structure that can be used at the time of primary ledger creation, but in the Fusion, you should create instance only you can use at the time of primary ledger creation. So you can select only instance at the time of primary ledger creation. You cannot select chart of account structure. Okay. So after completing that instance creation, we deployed it. We deployed. After deployment only, we have to create the segment values. Now we'll go and see how to create the segment values for these three segments. Okay. And segments will be creating with the help of value sets only. Okay. We'll go to the value set. For these three companies, three segments, we created three value sets. We'll go to first company value set. We'll enter the company segment values in the same way, department and account. And while you create the segment values, we have to assign the value attributes. Okay, value attributes in EBS we call as segment qualifiers. Allow budgeting, allow posting, account type, third party control account, reconcile. Okay, that's what we call segment qualifiers in EBS. The same in Fusion we are calling as same in Fusion we are calling as value attributes. Okay, here we are calling as value attributes. Done. We'll go and complete these two tasks and we'll go further configuration also. Fine. So go to our project. Go to manage implementation projects. So this is our project. Now search for the task called as chart of accounts value sets or chart of accounts value set values, any task. This will go with task called as chart of accounts value sets. You can go with this task. So since we are working SCM side, so we can prefer to choose the task by following procurement path. So here we have tasks in the sequence only: value set, structure, instance, and manage chart of accounts value set values. You can use this first task or this task to create the values. Anyway, we'll go with this task only. Manage chart of accounts value set values. Just click on the go to task icon. Just click on go to task icon. Now we want to create company values. The company values we have to create in the company value set. So you can search for the value set first. The value set name is, so ERP tree company search. So here you can see the value set. Now just click on manage values. To create the values within this value set, you have to click on manage values. So click on create. So value set creation time, maximum size we given for value set. What is that size?
30.
No. My question is value set creation time we given maximum size. What you are answering, that is creation. 4. 4 we given. So by following that, you have to enter the value here. It won't accept more than 4-digit number, the value. I'm just giving the 1000.
Character, you said, not digit.
Sorry?
Character.
Character.
Yes.
But
4
that
characters.
is inclusive of number also.
Yeah. Number, I'm talking about number. Just maximum size. Size we given 4, right? The character means what text you want to enter. That is a character. Here, the character means here. Description, to write description. If you give number only here, you can enter the numbers. If you give a character, it will allow number or any value. That is the reason we given the character. So here you can write the 1000 means which company. Say ERP tree. Say consulting. This is the company name, ERP tree consulting. And here you can see the summary. Summary by default, no. Allow posting, allow budgeting, yes. You accept the same defaults. That means with this company, if you create any transaction, that we should be able to post it. In the GL's point of view, we have to post each and every journal, right? So allow posting is yes. Allow budgeting, yes. Okay, this company, if you set allow budgeting is yes, for this company you can set the budgeting also, finance point of view. Summary. In EBS we see parent checkbox. Here they are giving a summary. If you set summary as a yes, system will understand this company is parent company, not child company, which involves in the transaction process. So don't set to yes, keep it no only. System takes by default no. If you set to yes, you cannot find this company to record the transactions. So this is the actual company. So you don't need to make it as a parent. Accept these default what system is taking. These only. This allow budgeting, allow posting. In the Fusion they added one more attribute. This additional attribute called as value attribute called as summary. The summary, allow posting, allow budgeting only we call as value attributes. The same we call in EBS as segment qualifiers. As a part of segment qualifiers, we don't have summary in EBS, but in the Fusion they included. Okay, these summary, allow posting, allow budgeting only we call as value attributes. For any segment value you create, you have to set the value attributes. By default, system is taking allow posting, allow budgeting as yes, accept the same. Summary it is taking no, accept the same. If you set summary as yes, this company is parent company. It will treat as a parent company. If company is parent company, that is just for reporting purpose only, not for the purpose of any transaction creation purpose. So allow posting means with this company you can create the transactions and you can post them, you can update the balances. Allow budgeting yes means you'll be able to do the budgeting for this company. That is the meaning of these value attributes. You don't need to do anything, just give the value number for the company and write the description, say save. We created one company within the company value set. We created. We'll create one more. Click on add. It will open one more record space. Say 2000. ERP3 trainings. So same value attributes you can accept, you don't need to change, save it. In the same way, you can create a number of companies. When you work for any client, how many entities they'll be having, those many will be creating in the system, or else how many business units are called as per our EBS operating units, those many companies we have to create here. If they have a 10 operating units or 10 business units, so 10 companies will create here. We'll create one more. 3000 ERP3, say BPO services. Okay, now you can say save and close. So now we created 3 companies. I'm just going to manage values. So this is our value set ERP3 company. If you click on search, within this value set, how many companies we have, we can see. Any point of time, you can add new company. That is possible. So save and close. Now we'll create the values for department segment. Department segment, if you want to create the values, you have to enter the values within the department value set. Department value set already assigned to department segment. So what are the values you enter in the value set, those will be available for department segment. If you go to department segment, under that you will be able to find all the departments. If you enter the departments within the value set, say ERP3 department, just click on search. So click on manage values. Okay, just click on manage values. Say create, same process. So you can give any numbering, but I'm going with the same number here. For department value set creation time, also we given maximum size as 4. Okay, I'm just going with the number as 1000. So finance department, same attributes, and save. Or also you can create multiple and you can save at a time all. Say 2000 HR department. Again, click on add. Maybe 3000 purchasing department. 4000 so sales department. This is how you can create a number of departments depending on the client operations. So what are the departments they have in their business, all you can create, okay, within the department value set. Say save and close. Done. Now we can create values for account value set. Click on search. So we can see the ERP3 account value set. Click on manage values. Okay, click on manage values. So you can create the values here. Click on add. So I'll give that any numbering here. We given the maximum size as a 4 here also. So normally when finance team create the values for account segment, they'll be grouping the accounts. They'll be creating the separate groups, separate sequence for the accounts. Expense accounts, one sequence, and revenue accounts, one sequence. Assets, liabilities, ownership accounts. For all these different type of accounts, they'll follow different sequence. Okay, but here just for our practice and understanding, you can give any numbering, no issues. Okay. They'll go with normally some kind of sequences. How? So expense accounts, they may start with the sequence of 1000. Revenue accounts maybe with the 2000. Okay, asset accounts maybe with the 3000 sequence. Liability accounts maybe 4000, and ownership account maybe with the 5000. All the here they may call it as total expense Under that they'll be entering all the expense accounts. 1001 maybe travel expense. The different expenses they'll incur, all they'll be listing by following the sequence called as 1000. In the same way 2000 for revenues, total revenues. Under that they'll be creating all the revenue account. Okay, maybe 2001. And what are the sales? Which sales? Some computer sales. That's how they'll write the names, or else say computer sales. Revenue which they get from computer sales. And this is how just 2002, 3, 4, 5. That's how they'll be maintaining the accounts by following this grouping. Okay, so if the user wants to enter any account related to expense, they no need to search among all the accounts. Simply they have to go with the 1000 series. All the expense accounts can be identified. That's how they do the grouping, but here not required for us. So simple point, what we could do is we can give any number, no issues. I'm giving this number. So you can give the account name, say cash account. So which segment label we assign to account segment? At the time of account segment definition, which label we assigned? Which segment label we assigned?
Natural account.
Natural account.
Natural account.
Yeah, what it do is, yeah, for company and account, when you are creating the segment values, how many value attributes we have? For
Three
company,
back.
how many?
4, 3.
Three only. What are those?
Summary, allow posting, allow budgeting.
Allow posting, allow, yes. Those three by default for any segment. Okay, for any segment, if you are going to create the segment values, the summary, allow posting, allow budgeting, you can find. But when you are creating segment values for account segment, see how many value attributes you have. Along with summary, allow posting, allow budgeting, you have account type, third party control, reconcile, and financial category. How many additional we have? 4 we have, right? 4 we have. Why we are getting? Only the reason is we assigned natural account segment label to account segment. That is the reason we are getting. That means the natural account segment label is adding these 4 additional value attributes for account related values, account values. This is the point we have to understand. Okay, the natural account segment label we assign to account segment. That is the reason this 4 we are getting. If you don't assign, you don't get this 4. You will get 3 only for account also. But when you create the accounts, any account, you have to select what type of account that is, whether the account is expense account or asset account, liability account or ownership account, which type of account you have to select. If you want to select, if you want to get this value attribute here, you should assign natural account segment label to account segment, then only you can get this here to select account type. So cash is which type of account, asset or expense or liability or ownership or revenue. Forget about this budgetary control. These are the additional information for other process. So cash is which type of account?
Revenue.
Or expense or liability or ownership or revenue?
Revenue.
Asset.
Yeah, it's asset. We treat as asset. Okay. Again, we have current assets and fixed assets also. That classification you no need to give, but cash falls under current asset. So select as asset. Okay, no issues. These are all related to finance. If you are not aware of this, no issues. But just what we are trying to do, at least for that, you try to take it. And going forward, we'll use the other value set where we have all the accounts. Okay, this is just for your understanding how to create account values within the account value set. To introduce that point, I am just taking you through. Otherwise, we'll be using some predefined value set in this environment. So if you are going to work in the fresh instance, you cannot have the values. How to create, you have to understand. That is the reason just I'm showing this. Okay. In the same way, we have to create, we'll create few more values. Say salaries. Okay, just you have to provide this allow budgeting, allow posting summary, as keep as is. The third party control and reconcile. These also separate futures, which is managed within the finance side, and that can be used in some other applications also, but that those are not required now to understand this definition. So salaries is which type of account out of 5 accounts: assets, expense, liability, ownership, and revenue. Out of these 5 accounts, salaries falls under which type of account? Nature.
Expense. It is expense.
Yes, exactly, that's expense account. So this is how, just you have to create. Say other account is, so say some accruals.
Lakshman, you give the same value.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So accruals, when you talk about our procurement, we know the accruals. Accruals is what type of account?
Liability.
Liability account, yes. Accruals is liability. Charge is what type of account? Charge account.
Charge out.
Sorry? Okay, charge is expense account. So this is anyway, we no need to work on all these as a part of implementation. So finance team, okay, finance team will take care of all these accounts. They get all the accounts from the client. When client provides all these accounts, they'll be giving the nature of account also. What type of account, as a with what nature they are using that account, they'll be providing. Because all the time clients won't use this kind of very fixed account. Salaries account means you can say expense, cash means asset, accruals means liability, we know. But client point of view, they'll be giving the different names, which may be new for us. Internally, they may use that kind of naming convention based on the transactions they record. That is the reason, as a part of implementation, finance team get all the accounts. They'll client will provide the account name and what type of account. Accordingly, they'll be entering in the system. Even they no need to struggle to create the accounts. They'll get from the client. They'll be entering here. But this is how we create the accounts. Okay, the value set. This is what we have to understand. Okay, so when you create the accounts, any account, you have to give the account type also. This is the point we have to understand. Okay, so I'm going to say save and close. Your voice is very low. I think somebody is speaking.
Gaurav here. Is it better?
Yeah, now
Voice
it's
better
okay.
now?
Yes, Gaurav.
So Lakshman, where is these videos now available now? I have videos till session 4. So after that, how?
Gaurav, please, if you don't mind, these points we can discuss in the end of the session. We are in the mid of session and we are discussing something. And if you are getting this point in your mind now, my request is you can ask me in the end of the session. Okay, we are discussing about value sets. You are talking about videos. It won't get connected. I'll just definitely, if you have any issues, that is the reason that before starting the session, I was waiting for 10 minutes by asking the questions. If you have any issues with instance or videos and all, I'm not sure when you joined. Just now you joined or you joined beginning. Okay. So if you have this kind of issues, you can ask me in the beginning of the session or end of the session, not in the middle of the session, please. Fine.
Okay.
So we created values. Yeah, we created values within the value set. So this is how we have to create. Hope everyone is clear about how to create the values for company, department, and account. When you talk about account values, only the additional point you have to understand the nature of account also you have to specify. The nature of account also we have to specify. That's all. But here we created 3 accounts only, but we need many accounts. When you are going to work on this SCM and finance, we need many accounts. If you click on search, you can see all the accounts, whatever you created. We need many accounts. We don't need to create all the accounts. within this vision instance, we have one predefined value set. So instead of using this ERP tree account value set, we can use that value set so that all accounts you can have as a part of your primary ledger to use in the transaction process. See here, this is what we created. There is one value set. Even when you are practicing, you try like this. After that, you can start using the predefined value set within this vision instance. Any idea what is the predefined value set in EBS vision instance? In fresh instance, you don't find anything. In EBS vision instance, normally which value set we use to get all the values? There are many value sets for account. Which value set ideally we use? Operations account in the vision instance. The same way, in this vision instance, we have one value set called as corporate account. Within this corporate account value set, you have all the accounts which we require. When you are practicing, you can use it, but just you create your value set, you create 2-3 values that will become practice for you. Later you can switch to corporate account value set usage. Okay, so search for corporate account. So here corporate account, you click on manage values. You see how many values we have within this. Click on search. Within this corporate account value set, how many accounts we have, you can see many accounts are here. Many accounts. Still system is fetching. Still the process. It's fetching. Yep. Many accounts we have. Okay. So if you want to export all these accounts into spreadsheet, you can do it. Export. Click on this export. It will take all these accounts into spreadsheet. It's saying it's connecting for that function. It's ready, it's exported. Say open. So all the accounts are exported. So just for your information, you may go through these details, which account, what type of account and all. If you have a interest to understand, you can go to it. So these all accounts are expense account, these accounts are asset accounts. Okay. These all are revenue accounts. These all are owner's equity accounts. These all are liability accounts. Fine. This is how just you can find when you are practicing. So you can create your own accounts. How to create just now we have seen. Otherwise, you can export the sheet. From the sheet, which accounts you require, those you can create within your own value set by referring this information. You can see any account, what is the type. You can refer the sheet. You can create. Okay, these are all not required. You don't need to enter and all. Simple point is you can use this corporate account value set in your chart of accounts. Okay, fine, done. We created segment values and we assign value attributes also. Allow budgeting, allow posting, account type. These all are value attributes we associated them. Now what we have to do is we have to provide. Okay, we have to provide. Okay, chart of accounts only we created, right? Fine. Next task we'll see. So now we are ready with accounting calendar and we are ready with all the currencies. By default, currencies are available and accounting chart of accounts. Chart of accounts also we created. Now we are ready with these 3 components. To create the primary ledger, we need 4 components. Accounting method. Accounting method also Oracle is providing the serial. If you have any requirement to modify as per business requirement, then only modify. Otherwise, standard one we can use. So that means out of 4, how many we have to create? Only accounting calendar and chart of accounts. Currencies are readily available in any instance as a seeded data. Subledger accounting method also available as a seeded data. What is the use of subledger accounting method? Within the subledger accounting method, we'll have all the rules. When you create the transaction, how system has to generate the accounting. All the accounting rules will be part of subledger accounting method. The accounting, how accounting should happen. Okay, how the accounting should happen. That methodology is available within this for subledger applications only. It's not for general ledger purpose. It is only for subledger. System has to trigger all the rules you can find within this. This is seeded one, which is provided by Oracle. The same you can use it. Okay, create come out from this page. Okay, we are in the project. What we want to do, we want to create the primer ledger. Search for the task called as primer ledgers. We know every task starts with a manage. You don't need to type manage, simply you can search for primary ledgers.
Lakshman,
Please go ahead.
sorry for interrupting. Actually, there is some sort of lag maybe at my side or your side.
Your
Can
side.
you just show the,
I don't.
maybe. Can you just only show the navigation of the previous step, means how you were assigning the values, using the value set? Only the navigation. The rest steps I have seen it. It got connected later on. Only the navigation part was missing. Which
So
task?
this is a navigation. This is a navigation. Manage chart of accounts, value set values.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to click on
Under
this task.
we created those.
You have to select the value set. Which value set? You want to create the values for which value set you have to select. Somebody unmuted, please. I can hear some noise. Yeah. Yeah, Petri. For which value set you want to enter the values, you have to select. Say, I want to enter the values for account. Search. Click on search. Find the value.
Yeah, got it.
1 second. Let me complete this. Okay. So this is a value set. You can click on manage values. Okay. Already we created values. If you want to see that, you can click on search. If you want to create the new values, you can click on add. Here you can give the value code and value name. And here you can, since this account, you have to provide the account type also. That's it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, please.
Yeah, Lakshman, I have a question. Sorry, interrupting between. You prepared that Excel first, and you are going by Excel, entering the what is the task name and all. So how do we know, like as a new learner and all, how what task?
You know, because I know about that product. That is the reason I am entering. What is the sequence of steps you have to follow? Once you learn, if you remember, you will be able to do the same. That's all.
Okay. By entering the task name, you are just going to the navigation and all, right? So
yeah.
That's
so
what
I'm mentioning for your understanding. We are going to create the value set. To create the value set, what task we have to use, I know. That I am searching.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all. Fine.
Okay. Done. Thanks. Yeah.
See, if you have any question, directly you can ask me. There's no other points like you don't need to call with my name, or you don't need to say I have one question, etc. Nothing. Directly you can raise your question. We'll proceed in that way. Okay, please. Okay, done. We have to go and create the primer ledger now. Okay, go to project. Here search for primary ledgers. There will be task called as manage primary ledgers. Okay, manage primary ledgers. The same task is available from procurement as well as finance. Since we are working SCM side, so you can go with this task. But any task will take us to same page, no difference. Just click on manage primary ledgers. Okay, just click on manage primary ledgers. Click on go to task icon. Okay, you can see here there are many primary ledgers which are available within this instance. The reason this is a vision instance we are using for classes and practice as a demo instance. When we are working for any client, there won't be any primary ledger. Whatever finance team will create, that would be the primary ledger. No sample primary ledgers you can find. Now we'll see the process how to create the primary ledger. So just click on create. Just click on create. And here you can give the name for your primary ledger. So name is ERP3. This primary ledger, say we are taking the case as we are doing the implementation for US. So you can name it as ERP3 USA primary ledger. Okay, the primary ledger name is ERP3 USA primary ledger. You may write the description, or else same name you can take, or else you can leave it as blank, since description is optional field. Fine. So now already we discussed, to create the primary ledger we need 4 components: accounting calendar, currency, chart of accounts, and sub-ledger accounting method. The same you can see: chart of accounts, accounting calendar, currency, and accounting method. You can call it as accounting method or sub-ledger accounting method, anything you can call. Fine. So now we are, as a part of primary ledger creation, we have to select these 4 components. When you are recording the transactions, we need date we can take from the accounting calendar. We have to represent each and every amounts with the currency, so currency is required, and we have to provide the description for the transaction. The transaction belongs to which company, which department, exactly which event, which activity, that we can represent with the account. And if you are recording the transactions in sub-ledger applications, then only accounting method is useful. If you record any journals in the GL, accounting method is not required. System will use only these 3. That's how it works. Fine. So select your chart.
This is chart of accounts instance name, or it is name?
Instance. It is
what you are
instance.
selecting, it is a chart of.
Yeah. It is instance name. They given the name as a chart of accounts, but that is instance only. Okay, only instance. If you want to see that, I mean, we otherwise a simple point. What name we given exactly for our chart of account structure? If you remember, please tell me. Chart of accounts. Anyone? Exactly.
You have created an instance ERP3.
Who's speaking? Like, see, who's speaking? Your voice is very low, very low. Please check from your side that audio connectivity or any other issues. If you are speaking again, we have to pay attention what you are speaking, and we are not able to get all the time. That is some sort of issue in the kind of meeting. So anyone, can you remember what name we given for our chart of accounts? I'm not asking about instance. For chart of account, what name we given?
Accounting flex field.
ERP3 accounting flex field.
Accounting flex field. Exactly, this is the name we given for our chart of accounts. What name we given for chart of account instance?
Flex, not flex field.
Exactly. That's how we given. For chart of accounts.
This we can see in the drop-down list as well.
Yeah. That's what we'll see that. But just to give you the clarification on that question, I'm just asking this question. We given the name as just flex only. Now we'll go and see which value we are able to find. Whether we are able to see ERP3 accounting flex field or ERP3 accounting flex. ERP accounting flex means that is instance name. ERP accounting flex field means that is chart of account name. Now just go here. So we given the name ERP3, right? See here, ERP3 accounting flex. This is a chart of account name or instance name? Instance name.
Instance name.
Yeah, same point we discussed also at the time of instance creation. You cannot use chart of accounts directly when you create the primary ledger. But in EBS, you can use it. But here, we have to perform additional setup called as instance. The instance only you can select at the time of primary ledger creation, right? That is a point. So we are selecting here, just normally we call a chart of accounts only, but reality that is instance. That is what we have to understand. So select chart of accounts, nothing but instance name. And select our accounting calendar. We created accounting calendar, right? ERP3 ACC accounting calendar. This is the name we given, select it. So currency, all currencies are enabled by default in any instance, in fresh instance, which we use for our client also. So select the country currency for which country you are creating the primary ledger. This we are creating for USA currencies USD. See, these three are mandatory. Chart of accounts, accounting calendar, currency, three are mandatory. With these three also you can create the primary ledger. Without accounting method also you can create the primary ledger, but the primary ledger you can use only in the GL. If you want to use the primary ledger in subledger applications also, you should select accounting method also. Select standard accrual, which is a seeded accounting method. Okay. If you don't select an accounting method, this primary ledger you cannot use in the subledger application, purchasing or AP or OM or inventory, any other application other than GL you cannot use, because within this we are not including the accounting method, means there are no rules how accounting need to be generated in the subledger applications. That is a point. Okay, so if you are going to use the primary ledger only for GL, no need to select accounting method. Okay, but minimum you have to select these three. You can create the primary ledger, but that can be used in only GL. So no company will use only GL. Maybe out of 1,000 there may be one company will use only GL application. Maybe all other they may have some legacy systems. From all the legacy system they may integrate with the GL they may use for only reporting. In that case they may use the general ledger application. Those scenarios you may create primary ledger with only these three components. But most of the companies, whatever the implementation you see, if they are going with Oracle application implementation, that could be EBS or Fusion, definitely they'll use along with the GL some other applications. That is the reason you should select accounting method also. Even you see this is a optional. How you can find optional mandatory? It's a star mark. If you see any field as with the star, it's a mandatory field. It's here, there is no star mark, that means optional field. But if you are going to use subledger application, definitely it's a mandatory. So that's how we have to understand. So say save and close. Our primary ledger would be ready, but not with the complete definition, the basic definition. Okay, we given the name. Optionally you can provide the description. You can select the chart of accounts which already created. We have to select the calendar which we created, and select the currency which Oracle is providing. Select accounting method which Oracle is providing. Any questions here, please?
Are you using the same instance which you share with us?
No.
Okay. Because I am not able to see much.
I give an answer. I give an answer. No, I used to do such in the similar way in the past. What people are doing is whatever I am just creating for class purpose, they are playing with that. They are going and they are adding their values. They are changing. They are using in their setup. This is how just some people are practicing, so that the things are getting disturbed. That is the reason for classes I am using the totally different instance. For our practice I am providing separate instance.
Okay.
Okay, everything is same. Everything, the environment is different. Product is same. No change you see.
Yeah, Lakshman, sorry, to add to that, like, even I tried today, I want to see what setups you have made with the project, and also with it was not visible. So
Correct.
Yeah, my question is like how much it would cost a instance, Fusion instance. I can ask you later. Okay. I don't want to disturb the class.
Yes. No, it's not like it's just how much Fusion instance cost. It's all about which offerings and options you are subscribing. That is the matter.
Even for Vision.
Vision also like any instance. That's how it works. But if your company is Oracle partner and based on that partnership, I mean this platinum gold partner, depending on that, if your company has along with EBS, if your company has cloud practice also, if they are doing the implementation, Oracle will give this Vision instance as a complimentary.
Oh, really? Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Fine. Fine. So that is the point. Yeah, please.
Yes, sorry. One small question. I understood the things which you showed just now. Do we have to define the conversion rates also after this?
No, not required. If you have a similar transactions, you have to define. If you are going to record any foreign currency transaction, then it is required. Otherwise, by default, not required.
Okay.
So you are doing the business in US
If
only.
it is type user, then even we need not to require, right?
Sorry?
If it is user type, we are giving conversion rate as user type, then even we need not to define because user can enter. If it is like corporate, then
No, so 1 second, Gaurav, 1 second. Before that, when it is required, first of all, if you are going to record the foreign currency transaction, that is required. Whether you use the corporate or daily or user defined, that's totally different. Point is exchange rates. Exchange rates need to be defined or not. No need to define by default. If there is business scenario where you have to create the transactions in foreign currency, you have to create. That is the answer. Okay. So any questions here, please? Right, done. So now you can say save and close. So within our account segment, how many accounts we have? How many accounts we created? Account value set, or I'll say account value set. In account value set, how many accounts we created?
4.
Yeah, 3 or 4 we created. Yeah, 3 or 4 we created. But those are not enough. Hope you are clear on how to create accounts, right? Just that is the intention why I created a value set for account also. Otherwise, we can use predefined one. So now those 3-4 accounts are not enough for us. When you do the setups, when you perform the transactions across our primary SCM and P2P and O2C cycles, we need many accounts. So the many accounts are available in which value set?
corporate
account.
Corporate account. Now what we'll do is, for our account segment, sorry, we assigned which value set? ERP3 account value set, right? So we assigned account segment ERP3 account value set. Where we assign value set to account segment? Account segment. Where? In which setup we did it?
Of account values.
Chart of account. Chart of account definition. Within the chart of accounts, we did it, right? The chart of account creation time. When you are creating the account segment, we assigned default value set. We selected, right? And other point here, let me open so that we can understand more detail. Go to chart of account structure. manage chart of account structures. Right? Now see, if you go to our chart of account structure, click on go to task.
Lakshman,
How
what is
to
the
find
define chart of accounts and manage chart of accounts?
Sorry?
Define chart of accounts and manage chart of accounts. What is the difference between these two?
Define, you know the task list and the task difference, right?
Yeah, in the task list only I have seen these two. So just
No,
like
I'm asking the question. You know the difference, right? Task list and the task.
task list. Okay, task list means it contains tasks. Task means
Yeah,
specific.
that means you can perform some definition. You can do some activity.
Okay. So
Define chart
whenever
of account is task list name. You can see that. I'm just closing this. See here, define chart of accounts.
okay,
That is
under
task
that.
list.
Got you.
Task list.
Okay, okay.
If you click on that, see what happens. This is a defined chart of accounts. With that, you cannot do anything. Under that, we have all these tasks. Okay, this is how it works. Now we have to go to chart of account structures. Go to chart of account structures. So chart of account we can create in which flex field?
Accounting flex field.
Accounting flex.
Accounting
Search for it.
flex field.
ERP tree accounting flex field. Oh.
No. My question is where we can create the chart of accounts in accounting flex field.
Accounting
Accounting
flex field.
Yes, accounting flex field. Reality, the name is accounting key flex field, but Oracle is giving the display as a accounting flex field only. Just click on search. Here you'll get the same. General ledger application, we have accounting flex field. So we'll go to our chart of accounts. We create a chart of account by clicking on this tab, right? Just click on the same, manage structures. Okay. Here you can search for our chart of accounts. This is our chart of accounts. We'll open this. To open this, you have to click on edit. In that we created 3 segments, right? 3 segments. Now go to account segment. Select account segment. Click on edit. For account segment, we assign value set called as ERP tree account. And I'll open one more tab, same instance. Same instance you can open in the multiple tabs. That is possible. And you can perform different tasks in the different tabs. I'm here in the chart of accounts window, but here I'll navigate to something else. I'll go to project. ERP tree implementation project. Just drag these columns. Yeah, go to chart of account structure only here also. Same accounting flex field, right? Search for accounting flex field. Search. Now go to manage structure instances here. Search for your instance. Open this instance. Chart of account structure instance. Just you have to click on edit. Go to your account segment. Click on edit. For account segment, which value set is assigned? ERP3 account. Here we are in the structure, we are in the instance, right? So structure level for account segment, who assigned this value set? We assigned, right? Manually we assigned. If I go to this instance, who assigned this? We assigned in the instance level.
System assigned.
System assigned. How it assigned? We copied chart of account segments into instance. That's how it assigned. Now finally we are using the chart of account structure. Yeah, system copied. We selected as required and it is copied from the chart of accounts. So now we have chart of account structure and a chart of account structure instance. Which one we are using in the primary ledger?
Instance.
Instance only.
Instance
only. So now if I change the value set here, I'll select different value set. Do you think this would reflect in our primary ledger? Chart of account structure level.
Yes.
No, it will not. It will not. You need to run some synchronization or
for
that
account,
is separate. Structure level, if you do modification, you come to instance. Instance, now you're doing anything, you won't come to structure.
Yeah, for account, I'll be changing to different value set. It won't reflect in instance. If you want to change any value set for our primary ledger related chart of account structure instance level only you have to change. No use of changing at chart of account structure level, chart of account level. This is the point we have to understand. Okay. So now we are in the instance level. I am going to change the value set. Why we are changing the value set? ERP3 account value set. We discuss a simple point. What is the reason?
We want more accounts.
To get more accounts.
it has just four accounts.
Within this we have just 3-4 accounts only, right? So we need more accounts. More accounts are available in corporate account value set, right? So change our value set for account at instance level, not at chart of account structure level. If you change at chart of account structure level, it won't reflect to instance, because by copying the chart of accounts we created instance. Instance only we assigned to our primary ledger. So whatever you do the changes in instance level, this kind of changing the value set, those only will reflect. So that is the reason instance level change value set for account. How to change? This is our instance, right? How we came to this window? We have to search for our. So before that, let me close and we'll go. Yeah, we search for accounting flex field. Click on manage structure instances. Search for your instance. Just click on search. Okay. Now we have to click on edit. We are in instance. Now select account segment. Click on edit. Here you can see ERP3 value set is assigned. Now we need more accounts. So you can assign corporate account value set. Within the corporate account value set, we have many accounts. That is a predefined value set only in the Vision instance. So you will be practicing in this Vision instances only, so you can use it. When we are working in real time, anyway, finance team will keep ready these setups for you, or else you know how to create the values in any value set if you get from your client. Done. Corporate account. Yes, value set is available. This you can assign to our segment. Select and say OK. Assigned. Say OK. Say save and close. Click on done.
Again, we have to deploy it, sir.
Yeah, we have to deploy. Yes, sir. So any changes you do to your chart of accounts or chart of account structure instance, you have to deploy it.
it is similar to freeze flex field in EBS, right? Whatever I understood.
Compile. It is similar to compile.
Compile. Okay. Freeze and compile.
We'll
Automatically trigger.
If you want to compile, you have to freeze. That's how they kept a condition in EBS, right? We cannot compile without freezing, without enabling the freeze flex field definition, right? So ultimately, we have to submit for compile, where system will validate your chart of account definition and it will take the changes. Here, similar to that, they given deploy. Now the deployment status for our accounting flex field is edited. So click on deploy. Okay, any changes?
Yeah, we did the modification in the chart of account structure, I mean the instance only, but we have to deploy the structure, am I correct?
Where we have chart of accounts or instance?
Okay.
No, where we have?
An accounting flex field. No.
Accounting flex. So since within the accounting flex field, whatever you do changes. So within that flex field, for which chart of accounts, which instances changes are done, it will take the update and again it will perform the validation once again if anything wrong went.
Okay.
Yes. In case of EBS, we do this kind of compile for chart of accounts only, not for entire accounting flex field, right? If you are aware of it. Otherwise, ignore that point. So there we do for our chart of accounts only. If 100 chart of accounts are there, if you do changes to your chart of account, you have to submit that chart of accounts only for compile. You have to freeze and you have to compile that chart of accounts. Before compiling, before doing the changes, you have to unfreeze, then only you can do the changes. Here that freeze unfreeze logic not there. Directly it will allow you to do the modifications. Once you do the modification, submit for deployment. That's it. That too for entire flex field level. Flex field level, not at chart of account level. That deployment would be applicable for all the chart of accounts.
So in the fusion point of view, the instance is main point. Once after creating the chart of account structure, we have to create the instance. The instance only we have to use for all our accounting everything. So in the reverse is not possible. Whenever we are changing the instance, that won't affect the structure. But okay.
No, yeah, instance level, if you do changes, that won't reflect to chart of accounts. If you do the changes at chart of account level, it won't reflect to instance.
Instance, okay. Both
Whatever
are
changes you do in the instance, those will be reflecting in your primary ledger, whatever you are using.
Okay. So in the primary ledger creation only, we are associate the instance only. Yeah, that is
yeah, exactly. That is a point. In case of EBS, no instance concept, only primary chart of accounts only we associate at primary ledger.
What is the main purpose of structure? Because that is, I mean, compared to EBS, this is one additional facility they provide. But any particular reason?
No, that is a foundation. That is a foundation we have to create in EBS or here everywhere we have to create the additional step they given instance creation. That's it.
What is the need for instance creation, Lakshman, in Fusion in compared to EBS? Sorry, I was absent yesterday. That's what yesterday you might have covered it. I just want to know.
That as a mandatory we have to create Oracle made in that way. You may not find your business need, so you have to create it. One advantage I can tell you what you could do is that is more related to finance. But since you have a question, no issues, we can discuss. Say you create a chart of accounts with the 5 segments. Okay, this you can make a copy. COA instance 1. You can copy. Say within this you have a 5 segments. 5 segments. So you create a chart of accounts the 5 segments. Say you are doing the business in 3 countries. So you are doing the business in 3 countries. Say India, USA, UAE. India, USA, UAE. So when you're doing the business, you may create the global chart of accounts, means one chart of account which can be used in 3 countries. Okay, one chart of account which can be used in the 3 countries. You can create one chart of account by understanding these 3 countries. Sorry, UAE. So 3 countries you are doing the business. For 3 countries business, you can have a separate chart of accounts. Okay, or else you can create one chart of account which you can call as global chart of accounts. The same chart of account you can use in the 3 countries. Fine. If 3 chart of accounts are going to, 3 countries need same value set, you can create the global chart of accounts. Say 3 countries require same 5 segments, but they need 3 different value sets. In that case, the one chart of account is not enough. In that case, you create one chart of account with the 5 segments. For India, you create one instance. You copy the chart of accounts. Again, you don't need to create, you copy it. Copy instance for India. So instance level, you can change the value sets, right?
Yes, we can change it.
Now you assign India related value sets to that chart of account structure instance. And by using the same chart of account, you don't need to create the same chart of account. You can use and create the instance. Whatever you given within this chart of account, those value sets will be defaulted, but change to USA value sets. Company, department, account value sets, you change at instance level. And create one more instance from the same chart of accounts. And change, this is for UAE. So you select only UAE value sets. You can override at instance level. And apart from that, there are some other advantage. Parent and child relation hierarchies. Here we call it tree structures which are required for reporting. Those also you can manage at instance level only. Those also you can manage at instance level. These are the basic advantages which you can see. Typically in the most of the projects which we do, there is no great advantage of instance. Since Oracle made it as a mandatory, we have to create. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, if you come across this kind of scenarios, you may make use of this logic. But creating a separate chart of accounts also not big task. It's a more or less equal to instance only. We have to give the name and we have to select and all, but you don't need to give the segment names and all. Everything will be copied from here. Anyway, you need 5 segments in 3 countries, say same segments. Since you need different value sets, you cannot use same chart of account in all the countries. They need 5 segments, value sets also same chart of account they can use in these 5 countries. In that case, one instance they can create, they can use in 3 countries. But if business requirement is they need 5 segments, different value sets, you cannot achieve with the chart of accounts. In that case, if you are going to create the instance, that will help you. Copy the chart of accounts, 5 segments will be copied. Just change the value sets which are required for India. Copy the chart of accounts, create instance. Okay, for USA, this is the 2, that is 3. For USA, you can assign the USA value sets at instance level. So that means you can reduce the burden of creating the 3 chart of accounts separately. One chart of account you can create value sets within the one chart of accounts. Only one value set you can have for company, department, account. Since instance is there, instead of creating the 3 chart of accounts separately, you can copy and you can override and you can use in that way. Fine. So this is not a great advantage. It's a simple point to understand. So they made it as mandatory because some solutioning they taken from the different product because of some logic or dependency or complexity to manage that some other data processing or kind of implications. They taken it as a mandatory in this process. Okay, done. So
Yeah,
deployed.
but reverse category, the EBS wise, we have to create the India and USA 3 different accounting structure that we're using here.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. If value sets also same, you don't need to create. The same you can use. Instance you don't need to create also, right?
So if such is the case, so at the segment level, we need not to give the value sets, right? So at the instance level, we can go for selecting different value sets.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. Create one chart of account. Copy and override this level only. You don't need to give a chart of account. No need to get 3 chart of accounts. One chart of account you can create by selecting any one of the country value sets. Okay, you copy and override. That is the point. Fine. Okay, done. So deployment status is completed. Okay, deployed. Done. Now we created primary ledger. Okay, we created primary ledger. I think it is 9:30. So we'll continue from here in tomorrow's session. So we just completed up to here. After this, we have to specify the ledger options. 1 second, let me write this. You can go with your questions. Specify ledger options, and we'll create legal entity. We'll discuss these points, but just I'm writing the points. Create legal entity. For legal entity, we require address. We have to create the address for legal entity. Create legal address, and after that we have to assign legal entity to primary ledger. And within the primary ledger, what are the balance and segment values we have? Balance segment values nothing but company values. Those we have to assign to legal entity. Assign balancing segment values, BSV. Balancing segment values to legal entity. After that, you can complete primary ledger. If you complete primary ledger, then only you can use it. Otherwise, without completing, you cannot use it. So what is the meaning of each and every setup? We will discuss and we'll do in the tomorrow session. Okay, in today's session, just we completed primary ledger creation only. This and all will complete, so that from finance side, which is setups we required when you work on SEM, those will be ready. So you no need to have any dependency when you are practicing. You no need to use primary ledgers which are created by someone else or which are created by Oracle in the Visual instance. No need to have a dependency. You can create your own primary ledger. So with all these specifications, all these preferences, so that you will be able to use when you are working on, when you are practicing on SEM side in our environments or even any environment for your practice purpose. Okay, so this is all about. So I'll take your questions. We'll have a discussions, but we're done for today. Okay, if you want to drop from the meeting, you can just go ahead. If you have any questions, you can stay back. We can discuss. We're done for today. Thank you all. Have a good day and good night.
Lakshman. Yeah,
No,
Lakshman,
one second.
Gaurav here. So
Questions.
would
That's
you?
what I said. Please wait. Please wait. I'm just informing to everyone as we done. Okay. So that's all for today. Okay, we'll connect tomorrow. Anyone has questions, please?
So Lakshman, I have admin questions, so I'm not sure if should I ask now or you just want to close the session and then I ask.
1 second. Okay, I'm just going to stop the recording.